the plans to go forward. There had to be, I know maybe you didn't write it all down, but there had to be some kind of an end game.
We did not envision this.
Last year, in August, my job that I worked at for 30 years, they eliminated my position. So
that's incentive to do something else.
That's right. I had to keep myself busy.
You know, we talked about the cost of doing this, but more importantly, how many specialty tools that you had to run out and buy to do this project. Tell me about a few of them. Just when you think you're going to die, the alligators go back into the creek. And
they
the sun
can't.
Comes out and you're doing well.
They can't go back in the creek. We have no water.
What are you talking about? Well, how can we be out of water? I just put water in here.
Not today.
Well, one of us is using too much water, and it's not me.
It's not me either.
One of us is, and it's not me.
Hey, what do you say? This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we can throw it and drive. With the radio up so loud they can hear us from now. Nothing to lose. I feel it in my soul. So let's let the good times roll.
Good day, everyone. Well, we were warned about this and we came anyway. Are we sorry that we did? I would have to say we're not sorry that we came. As a matter of fact, we stayed longer than we thought we were going to stay here. It blows now and then, but not all the time. I mean, it's been wonderful. But when it does blow, it's blowy, I'll tell you that. I just went out and I took the remaining amount of water in my water bag on the back of the truck, and I unhooked the netting that holds it down and pulled the bag up and drained everything. And I'm telling you right now that it was a task to put it all back down and put the netting back down, because everything went with no more water in the bag. It wanted to blow. The netting wanted to blow. You had to hang on to everything, get it down. Try to keep your hat on. And I managed to do all that. We're surviving. I just saw Harley's over there, and RV broke, and he was just up there putting his flagpole down. We're leaving ours up. It went through stronger winds than this. As you can see right over here, there's a cargo trailer. That is Roland and Julie Major. Now, if you watch the video that I put up of the concert in the desert, they were two of the performers. And so Roland said to me the other day, hey, do you think you want to come over and shoot a video of the cargo trailer, what we've done inside? And I said, absolutely. So today's the day I'm going to go over there and do that, and I'm going to take you along. Before we go over and do our interview, because it's only 10:15, I said 10:30ish, 11:15. Let's go out and take a walk out in the breeze, and I'll give you the full effect of the wind. I'll tell you what, with everything there is a plus. And the plus is the wind is blowing so hard, making so much noise, I can't even hear my neighbor's generator. It's a beautiful thing. He thinks you're supposed to live in the desert and run your generator night and day. I don't know. Anyway, That's a whole nother story. Let's go out in the wind. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my hat on. The last time I did this, it went blowing. Sue said, "Why don't you go out and get some shots out in the breeze?" And she said, "Maybe you even want to go up on the roof." I don't know. I think that was a message. She's trying to get rid of me. Whoa. It's a little blowy out here. Even Canada is moving around. You'll probably never be able to hear me with this wind. That's Randy and Stacy's rigs over there. Don't see anybody out walking around today, do you? Just me. The dirt was so thick. Sue was worried about Harley up on his on the back of his rig. There's Class A taking the flag down. I said, "Don't worry, it's blowing so hard you won't be able to see him if he falls." So I was going to spot him. If he fell, I was going to go over and see if I could help. I think what happens here is the wind hasn't been blowing much, and you can see how soft the sand is. So now when it picks up, it's really got a lot to work with and blowing around here. You can see it off in the distance. And we had some dirt devils going the other day, but it wasn't blowing like it is now. Yeah, there you go. It just picks this stuff up and lets it go. Well, let's go back in before I lose my hat. There's our flag. Seeing the pole's doing all right. It's been hanging in there pretty good with the wind. Sue said, "You're going to take it down?" I said, "No, we had stronger wind gusts than this, so we're going to let her go." It's a good test. The other thing is it's extremely hard to put that pole up or down. Oh, almost lost my hat. Up or down when the wind's blowing, because it puts so much force on the joints. It's really hard to lock them in or unlock them. I need to go get some water, but I have to put the flag down. So I think that's going to be put off till tomorrow. Yeah. So you can hardly even see Harley's Class A over there when the wind picks up a little bit. You know, and it's not blowing quite as hot as it was a minute ago, but yet it picked up more dust. It's kind of it's a strange thing that happens. Let's go next door and have a chat with Julie and Roland of the Highway Drifters. Let's go get Roland and Julie out of bed. Let's see if they're here. You guys here? You home?
Oh, come on in.
Hey, they're home. Hey.
Well, hello, neighbor.
So we are neighbors. That's
Hey.
Roland and Julie.
We are neighbors. You're actually right out our window.
I am, yeah. We're right there. There's Max, the little car. So you actually have a site, right?
We do.
I mean,
yeah.
a channel.
We've got a channel. We've got a website. We're on Facebook.
Yep.
Mostly on Facebook. We got a little Instagram going, but so our website is highwaydrifters.net.
Okay.
And from there, you can get to all of our social media. So
Oh, you can get
to
links right
YouTube.
from there, right?
Yep,
Yep.
Facebook right from there. I got
Yeah.
links on the website.
So, you know, you might recognize them a little bit because they were in the Concert in the Desert video that I put up the other day. And,
That's right. That was fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I met new people, which seems to happen all the time out here in the desert.
That's the
does.
best thing about
I haven't
being
met
out
any
here.
bad ones yet. They've
Yeah.
all been good. Good.
Yep.
Absolutely. So you invited me to come over
Yeah.
and take a look at what you've done here. And
Yeah.
it's
So,
fantastic.
I wanted to show you what we've done here. This is a project that we had started August
Yep.
last year and wrapped it up in about 3 months. So I worked really hard on it.
Yep.
But what you're in right now is a 20 by 8 utility trailer, all aluminum, so it's all lightweight. And
Yep.
we need it to be lightweight because we pull it with a Class B.
Okay.
So it can be very heavy. So it's an all aluminum trailer. And last year, in August, my job that I worked at for 30 years, they eliminated my position. So once they
That's
eliminated-
incentive to do something else.
That's right. I had to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Is what I had to do. So
We were living on the road nomads at that time, but we
Yeah.
were living in this trailer, and it just had all white walls. It did have this little kitchen area, but other than that, we had just thrown things in here to make it a home. And we also have the van, like he said, so we also had that. But when he did lose his job, we decided it was time to remodel because it didn't have any insulation or anything like that, and it was
Oh, it was an oven in here.
yes.
But now,
But now
it does.
Yeah, it stays nice and cool. Stays warm when it needs to be warm. It stays
Yeah.
cool when it's hot.
It's important.
outside.
The insulation, some people don't realize, works both ways, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It
So I got to
just-
ask you this question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture this as we're talking, but you had this existing in here, the kitchen area.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's basically it,
Yep.
and then you took it from there.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the plans to go forward? There had to be, I know maybe you didn't
One day
write
at
it
a
all
time.
down, but there had to be
Honestly.
some kind of an end game.
We did not envision this.
Okay.
I can tell
No.
you that. We thought that we would make it look neat. Kind of nice.
Accomplished.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we ripped everything out of here. It had, like Julie was saying, had white walls in here, no insulation. And my main goal was to insulate it. Ripped everything out and insulated all the walls, insulated the ceiling, and then we went to a store called Menards. It's kind of like Home Depot,
Yes.
Lowe's. It's
Yep.
a big box store. And we looked at some siding, and we picked out the wood siding, or not siding, but paneling,
Yep.
and we put that on. Looked really nice. And then we decided, well, what we're going to do is we're going to build a utility area. So we're going to build a wall right here.
Okay.
We built this wall, and as we were building it, Julie said, you know something, I would like to have the refrigerator kind of built into the wall, and can we build that out a little bit? So we took some measurements, and we were like, yeah, I think we can do it. So we ended up framing that out and built the refrigerator in, built the shelf up there on top. And then we had to figure out how we wanted to finish it. And what we wanted to do is we didn't want to use the same paneling we put on the walls and have it all the same,
Boring.
look. So we ended up finding this brick paneling. This is foam. So it's all lightweight, but it's three-dimensional. So if you look at it, I mean, it looks as close as to brick as
Yeah.
you can possibly get. Then we had to decide, okay, well, what do we want to do with the ceiling? So the ceiling, once I ripped all the ceiling out from the original build, insulated it, I put the white panels back up. So this was all white, and it
Okay.
just didn't flow.
Pretty
right?
boring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty boring. Well, we found
Not
this,
anymore.
We found this plastic. It looks like a tin roof.
Yep.
On Amazon. We ended up buying that. We did the whole ceiling. We decided to cove the ends there because all my wiring that I did, all the electrical I did in this, a lot of that runs right along the sides, right at the top.
So now
there.
it's hidden.
It's all hidden. So we coved that around, insulated all of that. We got the ceiling completed. Looks great. Every step we did, it was like, wow, I like it better. I
Yep.
like it better,
Yeah.
you know?
So
And then-
that was how the plan went. There wasn't
Yeah.
a master plan,
Wasn't a master
but there was
plan.
an idea of what you wanted
Right.
to do, not what to end up with, but what you wanted to do. And then as
Yeah.
you did each, we'll call it a piece to a puzzle, it started to come into view
Yeah.
of where we were
And then we
going.
would pause
Yep.
and say, okay, okay, let's see what we want to do next. How do we want to handle this area?
Everything that is in here is kind of, for me, things that I would have never put in a house. Two reasons. I could have never afforded it in the house. It was, it costs a little more to do it this way, but in an 8x20 space, it's not that bad. And I also I wanted it to look different and unique. And every house I'd ever had, I was pretty plain Jane. And I had seen some other rigs that had like cool ceilings and different things and plants. This is super important that he built me this plant place here. And
You bring a little home.
yeah, this is our home, and I wanted it to feel like a home, and I didn't want it to feel like a trailer. And I didn't even want it to feel like a camper trailer. I wanted it to feel like my home, and I love it in here. So,
Yeah.
But my point to that was every little thing that we talked about, I would say, hey, Roland, I know this sounds really far-fetched, but what if we did this? And I really thought he'd say no every time. I really did. And every time he'd go, well, let's try it. And that was super important because that's how we
Point a
got
couple
it.
out. Point a couple of those out.
Well, this whole section here was something that we didn't plan on doing originally.
Yep.
She mentioned it, and I'm like,
You mentioned let's put the refrigerator, build it
Yes.
in.
yeah,
And
and build
the
storage
shelves.
behind. So behind this wall in the utility area,
Yep.
this is all storage area. Right.
The coved ceilings, I really wanted that. And
Yeah.
for a while, he was like, "Oh man, I don't know if that's doable. I don't know. I've never done anything like that." But again, he made it happen. He made those shelves happen back there on the back wall. Just
Yeah.
kind of all the little things that I had mentioned. He just brought them to life. And
I want to talk about that back wall.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
But when the ramp was up, that was just all like plywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it didn't flow. It didn't look good.
Yeah.
And we needed it because we actually drive a side-by-side up in here, and this is where we haul our side-by-side. So
Okay.
we couldn't finish that off. That had to remain as.
But it doesn't come up in here now, does it?
Oh yeah.
The side up in here?
Side-by-side comes in here. Yep.
proof of that.
So
is
you're not
right
telling
here.
me everything.
Right here is some tire tracks. This is where the tires sits. Right here.
Oh, geez. I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah.
No, God, no.
Oh yeah. So we take
Yeah.
the couch and we bring it this way.
Okay.
And so,
So it
that when
opens
the
up that.
side-by-sides in here, we still can use this whole section. And everything behind the couch, that way, is just storage when we travel, but we still can use this.
Okay, so I'm a little confused.
Okay.
Because what am I looking at over here? This isn't.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
I'll
not
show
looking
you.
at a ramp that you
No.
can drive on.
Right.
So we had to use the ramp because we get our side-by-side up in here, but we didn't want the ramp to be our wall
Right.
here, just plywood, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't look right. So we came up with this idea that we were going to build a foldable wall that this folds up.
It has hinges up here.
It
Oh,
has
no
hinges
kidding. It
along
swings
the top.
up, okay.
It swings up, and that gives us access to drive our side-by-side in.
So this is not the ramp. This is just the
Correct.
facade. It's
Yeah,
a
this is
false
the-
wall.
This would be
Folds
like
up.
an awning. When the ramp's down and we have the jacks under it, it makes like the deck, and then this
Perfect.
goes up and it can be an awning.
So everything that's built over here is all combined on the wall.
Perfect.
That was the last idea that we had.
Yep.
Like, let's take everything we have here and just kind of consolidate it on the wall here so it's a nice visual.
Okay.
Focal
Now,
point.
there's nobody watching, so nobody will know this. You can just tell me. How many times did you have to back up and go, okay, that's not going to work. We got to do this instead?
With the side-by-side?
Would anything? Would anything in this project? What,
Oh, the project.
the project, you go, oh boy, you know what? I thought that was going to work. I need to change that to this. Nothing.
Everything we wanted worked.
Well, you couldn't have done that on paper because it just would have ended up failing
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah,
along the
yeah,
line.
we just kind of.
I don't
everything
recall
worked.
anything having to redo anything.
Yep.
Or, yeah, I just, yeah.
No, I
A lot
like
of the
it.
stuff that we have in here are the things that we owned before we went full time. So the cabinet there is something that her mom had painted,
Yep.
and it means something to us. I'm going to bring that. The fireplace
Nice.
that we put up. This is a functional electric fireplace.
Yep.
That was in our home, and we liked it. And it's like, let's figure out a spot for it. So we built the hearth there with the brick.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Put this up on the wheel well,
Yep.
so it's up a little higher.
So this is a wheel well right here.
Yep.
Wheel well right there.
And
Saying nobody knows that,
Right.
right?
And
Because
this
it's functional. It looks
Right.
like it belongs there.
is a cabinet that we built. That's
Yep.
also above the wheel well. And
Yeah.
that's where I store like all my little knickknacks, the ones that aren't glued down.
Mm-hmm.
I store down in there.
It's all just Velcroed on. The lid is Velcroed on, and we just tear it off. And
I'm impressed.
yeah, and this is something that Julie got from her great grandmother, right?
It was in my great grandparents' home when my
Mhm.
great grandmother passed away.
Yeah.
It's something that I grabbed because I thought it was neat and I
Yep.
wanted to use it
It is cool.
somewhere along the line. And that was over 20 years ago. And I never found a home for it. It sat in my closet because it had some damage to it. And I didn't see hanging it in my house back then.
That's
but
fine.
in this space, I feel like the damage looks cool.
I feel like it actually belongs
Yeah.
there. Let's talk about these lights for a minute.
right.
They're all different and interesting.
We went to Menards,
Yep.
and we found those. So we just walked through the lighting section and tried to determine, okay, what would look kind of cool in the area. And we liked the industrial look.
Yep.
So we found these lights at Menards
Yep.
and thought, these are cool. We're going to use those. We got 2 of them. And then it was like, okay, we got to put some light on this wall over here.
Yep.
But we don't want to use the same fixture. We
Yep.
want to change a little bit. So we
Boring.
found that one, which has got the gears on it.
And these two are the same, left and right, of
Yep.
the television or the hearth.
So this one here is a little bit more steampunk, I would think.
Yeah.
Because it's got the gauges on there. So we ended up finding that on Amazon. And then over here, we also like the barn theme,
Yep.
right? So it's like, okay, well, let's tie that in. And we ended up going with something that we felt was more like something you see in a barn or barn theme light, which is the
Mason
jar.
jar.
mason
Yeah.
jar.
So
We
the
ended up
question I
buying
have
that.
is this how it was purchased, or what
Nope.
did you do to it? I didn't think so.
That was something.
The bird.
So my mom passed away last year, and that was one of the things I took from her home that I
Yep.
could bring with me on the road.
Yep.
And so we have glued that up there, so
Okay.
it's a permanent home, and I absolutely love it up there.
Well, I
the
see
cowboy
something else
thing,
that's
so-
really cool here. This table.
Oh yeah.
This is another thing I got from my mom's house. So a lot of my things we got rid of and sold, and we just didn't need them.
Yep.
And so when we just went to put this thing together, I went over to my mom's and I kind of looked for some things I thought would be cool that were little pieces of her to have on the road with me.
Yep.
And that was one thing that I fell in love with. So this is all storage. Every single one of them is storage. And that's something we didn't talk about. We have storage in here. We have storage here. That's all storage. Those 2 footrests down there open and there's storage as well.
Okay.
Behind the love seat here is storage, and also back there is storage. So we have tons of storage.
So you know what's amazing? You have so much storage that we can't see it.
Right.
It's hidden right here in
Right.
front of us.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right? I didn't know any of that. As a person that's done some things, I can see you put an awful lot of. You're going to tell me you didn't put that much thought into it, but there's no way you end up with a project like this.
I don't think we did. I mean,
It
I
just-
knew
But
I
as you
wanted the
went-
ceiling.
The
Yeah.
creative juices were flowing,
Yes.
because you wouldn't end up with this. So
Yes.
yes, you didn't get a cocktail napkin and write it all out, but
Right.
but as you did one other piece to it,
Yes.
the next one came along and fit.
But I'll show you this. This is first. This is our door, which is really a curtain. Looks like a door, but it's a curtain. And in here,
It really does look like a door.
we have our solar. So I got a Blue Eddy AC300 system with 4 lithium batteries. That's over 12,000 watt hours of storage. So we got a lot of solar.
Yep.
And IceCo freezer, deep freeze that we use back there. It's a cooler, but we're using it as a freezer.
Yep. You can go either way with it.
Yep. And then we have our compost toilet back there. And storage.
And what is the length of this trailer?
It is.
20
Yep.
foot plus the V. you know,
Okay,
the front.
plus
So-
the V on the front.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
One thing we didn't mention is there's no bed in here. We have a bed
True.
in
I didn't even think of
our
that.
RV.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the van is kind of what we use if we decide we want to leave this behind and just take a couple days here and there and
Yep.
just go here and there to wherever. But we take the van and we sleep in the van at all times. So we
Yeah.
decided we didn't need a bed in here.
Mm-hmm.
We prefer to sleep in the van. We like to just drive till we're tired, go to bed, get up, drive again. Don't even
Yeah.
have to come in here. So.
Yeah, so the main
Perfect.
purpose of this was just like a living room area. That's what we wanted to
Yeah. Well,
do.
that's what it
Something
is.
We can,
You know, and a kitchenette.
space.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's perfect.
yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I guess what I say. So we told you we were full time.
Yep.
For a couple years. So it's been a fantastic experience. I would not change a thing. And I would encourage people, if there's anybody that's interested or thinking about doing full-time travel, take a few months, give it a
It's
shot.
possible, right?
It's
Yep.
possible, and especially for those that are on a fixed income,
Yep.
it is so reasonable to live on.
Because you can dial it into your income, right?
You can dial it, and this build right here, I estimate, not including the solar. The solar
Yeah.
obviously is expensive,
Yes,
but
it
just
is.
the build out here, I estimated right around $3,500 to do the whole thing. I thought that was pretty reasonable to do a build out for $3,500.
Well, it gives people an idea,
Yeah.
as long as you're handy and you can do these things, because otherwise you'd have the cost of someone doing the work.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're handy and you can do it yourself. But a lot of these things wouldn't take specialty tools. So as GoPros do when you're in the middle of something, we ran out of battery.
Yeah.
But what we were talking about is, you know, we talked about the cost of doing this, but more importantly, how many specialty tools that you had to run out and buy to do this project. Tell me about a few of them.
So I only used 2 tools, power tools,
Yeah.
I should say. And I owned them, you know, prior to the thing, so I didn't have to go out and buy them. But one was a drill,
Yep.
because we're, you know, this is all screwed in using screws to hold everything together. And the other was a circular saw. So all the paneling, all the brick.
Probably a razor blade knife somewhere along the line, you know,
Scissors,
basic
I think
things.
we used
Scissors,
on
yeah.
those. Yeah.
But everything you're
as far as
mentioning,
power tools,
somebody
only
that's
those two.
handy would own them already, so they
Right.
don't
Oh,
have that
absolutely.
cost to go out and buy that tool. If
Yeah.
I think if you're going to tackle a project like this, you've got those minimum amount of tools, you already own them.
Yeah.
So no specialty
No
tools.
specialty tools. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I really appreciate you allowing me to come over and take a look at
Our
it, and now
pleasure.
we'll share it with some folks out there.
Sounds good.
So thank you, Roland and Julie, for inviting me over.
Thanks for coming.
You're
It's
welcome.
been
Yeah.
nice to get to know you this year too.
Yeah, that's
Same
one
here.
thing about being out in Quartzsite, right? You get to know people and make
Yep.
new friends.
Oh, God, yeah. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
Ryan.
you.
Yep, bye.
Yep, talk to you later.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to FergTV. I'm Ray, and I'm glad you're here. I wanted to show you this. Look at those clouds out there. It has been gloomy and raining here in Quartzsite, right? Now look out the back window. The sun came out, and look at that view. We're picking up solar. We didn't pick up much solar today so far. The sun hasn't
Hey.
been out. Just when you think you're going to
Hey.
die, the alligators go back into the creek. And
They
the sun
can't.
comes out, and you're doing well.
They can't go back in there quick. We have no water.
What are you talking about?
We're on 0.
What are you talking about? I
I
just
wanna
put
do-
water in it the other day.
I want to wash my dishes, and I came to check the water. We have no fresh water. It's 0.
Well, how can we be out of water? I just put water in here.
Not today.
Well, one of us is using too much water, and it's not me.
It's not me either.
One of us is, and it's not me. So the reason that we ran out of water today was I knew we were low, but it's been pouring out.
Yes.
And I said, if it stops raining, I'll go out and I'll pump some water in. And if you've watched any of our other videos, I've already talked to you about how we transfer water from the back of the truck over. But what we wanted to talk to you about was we're boondocking. We're in Quartzsite. Doesn't matter where you're boondocking, but if you're boondocking, you handle your water consumption just a little more seriously than you would
Yeah.
normally. You pay a little more attention. So we wanted to show you a few of the things that we do to kind of maintain water longer, or stretch the water and make it last longer.
Right.
One of the things is dishes. Now we eat on paper plates a
Yes.
lot.
We do.
And what else do we do?
I'll use a dishwasher maybe every other day. And,
Why the dishwasher? Isn't that going to use more water?
no, it doesn't. It uses a lot less water than washing by hand.
Because washing by hand could mean you're using any amount of water, because
Right.
the rinsing, if I washed the dishes, we'd be out of water every day because I would just run it. So to me, it makes a lot more sense to, and the dishes don't hang around like this. She just hasn't loaded up the dishwasher yet because she's waiting for me to go out and pump water into this thing to run the dishwasher. But that's one of the ways, right?
Right. The dishwasher goes for 35 minutes. And
So it's a set time.
it's a set time, and
When's a good time to run it? No, but
um,
when we have a lot of juice coming in, the dishwasher runs and it's free
it doesn't take away from the juice.
because it
Right.
doesn't take away. It's making usually more. It's bringing in more than we're using for
Yes.
the dishwasher, and we're still adding to the battery. So it's a win to
So it's
use
usually
the.
around this time that I would do a load of dishes.
Yeah, like between 11 and maybe 2 o'clock or
Yes.
something in
Yeah.
that time frame. That's when our biggest numbers are coming in. Yeah. What else
And,
do we do to save water? Yep, we drink
Bottled
bottled water.
water.
I forgot about that.
We get this, we buy a case of it, and put it in the refrigerator, make sure it's cold to drink and whatever, and this saves from us taking out of the fresh water.
Yep.
Even though we have the filtered water here.
We have the Acuver up here, which has another filter underneath the sink area, and we have the 3 filters,
Right, clear sauce.
clear sauce downstairs. I
Right.
couldn't think of the name. In the basement, we still and a water softener, so it's helping to
Filter the water.
because this is very hot water over here.
Yes.
When we didn't have the softener, we were scratching all the time, and
Yep.
you could just feel the difference. It seemed like it took more water to like wash the soap out of your hair. and off
Oh
your
yeah,
body and
definitely. I noticed that when we took it off the other day.
stuff. So I didn't even think of that, but the water softener actually is a way to save water. You don't have to use as much, which makes me think about the bathroom and how we save up there.
Right.
So one of the things that you do up here is involves the shower. Actually, more than one thing to save water, right?
Right, so we're gonna take a shower. Ray's usually in there doing the shower before I am. So he'll get this ready. We have a blue bucket down here,
Yep.
and he'll start the shower. We'll put the water in here until it gets hot.
Right.
So then when it gets hot, he will.
Shut it right off at the faucet.
Okay, you do.
And then can't blame me for that one.
No.
And then we take that water and we use it for flushing the toilet. So it doesn't go to waste and it doesn't go into the gray tank. It actually goes into the black tank. So we do a little double duty there.
Right, so we're saving water in the gray tank, and because the
Yeah.
black water doesn't fill up as fast.
Not nearly as fast.
So
And then when we're brushing our teeth, we don't let the faucet run.
yeah, we don't let we just turn it down, a little bit, and then you
When you're washing your hands, you pay attention also, and just keep the flow down. That's huge. It's
I
like
usually
if you're running like this or you're running like this,
that saves water.
it saves a ton of water.
And I use this most of the time because it's easier to wash your hands with that than trying to get the soap from here. It makes it off a lot easier for me anyway. That's how I feel.
Yeah, well, that's a new one on me. I didn't realize that.
So and then
It's a couple of ways of saving right there. Oh, how about when we take our shower?
when we take our shower,
Take
We
a
will
military shower.
take a military shower, and
Once you regulate these guys.
when you
then,
get these
yeah.
on and you get it the way you want to do it, you're going to use this to shut the water off.
Yeah, on and off right there. That Oxygenics shower head is a game changer because that puts out a pretty good stream
Yes, it does.
and uses less water.
Less water.
Yeah.
And that way there, you get your shower, but we call it military showers, but it's not as bad as military shower.
Yeah, no, we just conserve. We're conserving all the
If
time.
we can conserve our water, I have a washer and dryer in here. I cannot use it due
No.
to not having enough solar to run it, but also it uses way too much water.
Way too much water. The consumption of water would kill us out here. Yep.
That's more or less when we're on the pedestals in the campgrounds.
Yep, absolutely. But it's sure nice to have for that time. But when you're out here in the desert, it's a no-no.
And we have a great laundromat down the road here that I go maybe once a week.
Yeah, well, there's another way of conserving our water
Yes.
by doing that.
Yes.
Oh, I know another thing that you do just came to mind. When you do your dishes, what do? You wipe everything out beforehand.
Yes, I do that for 2 reasons. I don't want to get all the sauce and the food
Grease, there's grease. And,
when you're having different things there, I wipe it all out so it doesn't go into my gray tank or my galley
Yeah.
tank.
yeah, the
That
galley
way,
tank.
and so that helps to keep that cleaner. The other reason in
Keeps
doing
that smell down too,
Right.
because that stuff builds up odor in there.
and the other reason is so that doesn't go into the dishwasher and get that all clogged up. So everything gets wiped down with paper towels.
And by doing that with the dishwasher, you're able to do that short load.
Yes.
And make sure everything gets cleaned
Yep.
because you wiped it out. I forgot all about that, but that's actually a big
No, I've always done that, not just even to save water. I've always done that, and more so now we make sure that we are making sure we do that.
Yeah, but it's a good way to save.
And you've gotten into the habit of doing it also, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's probably about it on saving water. I'm going to go out now and I'm going to transfer some water into the tank.
In the third.
Yeah, I tell you, with what I put on there, we're in pretty good shape.
That
to,
means we
uh,
can
to make
get
it.
longer showers, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
We don't want to carry a lot of water with us, so I'm thinking a nice long shower the last day we're here.
Yeah, probably. Well, I think that's going to be the end of this. It's a short one. We just wanted to talk about that.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Maybe you can go give it the old up yours. Hey, don't do it for me, do it for you too. They love that sort of thing. Yeah, people that count that day and night and day. You don't want to put anybody out of a job, right?
No.
No, absolutely not. I slapped the camera in her face.
Yeah, she did.
What is going on here? And maybe, just maybe, you'll subscribe, Hey, we appreciate it. We've been getting a lot of subscribers lately. I keep looking over here because the mirror's right there. It's weird, man. But we've been getting a lot of subscribers lately, and we really appreciate it. And the comments, most of them are constructive. Had a few where people didn't understand the videos, but I've been misunderstood most of my life, so that doesn't bother me. I guess that's it, and we'll see you on the next one.